Hey guys, we're back, and this time we're taking a look at another World of Tanks miniatures game, Wave 2 release. This is the British Cromwell. Again, it's another one that we've already seen in the starter set, but now we're getting it as a standalone expansion with some new upgrade cards. So we're going to get in and take a look. It is worth noting, if you can find these that still have the sticker on the front here, they do come with a code inside that is usable in the video game. I went over those in more depth in the Wave 1 videos, so if you want to check one of those out, you can find out more about it. But inside the little booklet here that comes with it, you have all the instructions on how to claim the card. The card's down here, but the codes are obviously on the other side of it. And there's two different codes on there. One if you're making a new account, which comes with some extra free stuff, or one if you have an existing account, which gives you a little bit less stuff, but you can use multiple codes. So that's always cool. Check it out if it's something you're interested in. First thing we have here is our card for the Cromwell. And you can see here it's a tier 6 medium for 47 points. I think that's the most expensive of the wave. You have 4 firepower, which is pretty average, 1 survivability is pretty average, 3 mobility is pretty high, and 8 initiative is great. 5 hit points, making it the most durable tank in the wave. And then we have our 5 crewman options here. On the back, you have your little history blurb about the tank. And then up here we have our medium tank ability, which is when shooting, this tank can reroll a blank attack die. So that's all pretty much the same. Actually, it is exactly the same as the one from the starter set. The reason for picking these up is not only to get a multiple, but to get some new upgrade cards. First thing we have here is a 3.7-inch Howitzer gun. For the British-only tanks, it is negative 7 points, which means it reduces the base cost of the tank by 7 points. It can only go on a Cromwell or the Churchill 7. It is negative 1 attack, so it lowers your attack value by 1. But the bonus here you get is the big gun. When attacking, you can modify a hit into a crit. So you trade off reducing your attack value, but you reduce your points considerably on your tank as well. But you get that free conversion of a hit to a crit. That would lower your base attack value of the Cromwell to a 3, and might be worth it just for cutting down the cost of the tank. It is the most expensive of the starter tanks in there, so it is a trade-off on there. It's whether you want to use it or not. It does reduce your value of your main attack to lower than all the other tanks in the wave, though, so you have to keep that in mind. But you're increasing your quality of hits by getting that free critical in there, the free conversion to a critical. Next we have the RollsRoyce Meteor Mark IV-B engine. It's a British upgrade for 3 points. This can only go on the Cromwell and the Comet. And it gives you +2 initiative during the movement phase. Anything that increases your initiative is always welcome. I like it. Next we have the Vertical Stabilizer Equipment Upgrade for 4 points. And while stationary or while you have a movement 1 token, you can re-roll 1 attack die. This comes into play with the bigger gun. You're rolling less dice. You really want those dice to hit. This also combines good with the tank's ability, which allows you to re-roll a blank. So now you're re-rolling an attack die from this, you're re-rolling a blank from that. And it really helps you with your dice quality, I think. And last, we have 2 crew upgrades here. We have Call for Vengeance, which is a radio operator. And when this tank is destroyed, all other tanks in this platoon gain +1 initiative till the end of the next turn. That's kind of a cool ability in that it boosts up your entire team. The trade-off is you have to lose a tank for it to work. So 1 point isn't too bad. +1 initiative to everybody is a nice thing, but you're counting on the tank that has this equipped to get destroyed in order to gain that ability. So that one's hit or miss. It's up to you depending on your build. And finally we have Wayne Turvey. He's a unique crewman, British only, for 11 points. He's a gunner. He has designated target. When shooting, the defending tank does not gain the cover bonus if they've already shot in this phase or have a movement token. So if they've already moved or fired, they don't get the bonus from being in cover, which is kind of nice. And then we also have Deadeye. Draw 2 critical cards for the first critical hit scored on by this tank each turn. The shooting player chooses which one of these cards to apply and then discards the other. That one I really like. The ability to draw multiple crits and see which one you want to use. Sometimes you get a critical that's worse than what you wanted. So, you know, it may just damage a component or something. It doesn't do anything really that impressive. Whereas now you get to draw 2 and hope for the better of the 2. I like that. 11 points is very expensive for an upgrade though, but you're getting 2 really good abilities out of it, so that's up to you if it's worth putting in your platoon. And finally we have your Cromwell tank. Same one we had in the starter set. No changes there. But I will say this one, for mine anyway, seems pretty poorly put together. There's a gap here along the top of that. And again on the back, you can almost see the glue in there. They did a really bad job on this one, but when I just broke the light off. I did that myself. I was going to say the turret on this one is very stiff to get in and out and turn. And now I'm going to have to glue my light back on. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad little tank. My light piece so I don't lose it. Well, I can't really say anything too bad about the Cromwell. It is by far the most expensive of the Wave 2 tanks, weighing in at 47 points. Though you can put on the Howitzer gun to lower that cost down a little bit. That brings it down to a 40, which is still tied for the highest points cost in the Wave. So that gives you an idea how overcosted this tank is. Well, I shouldn't say overcosted. It gives you an idea how high costed this tank is. The 8 initiative though kind of makes up for it. It is the highest of the Wave by far. The 3 mobility is on par for highest. That gives you a lot of movement and just ability to maneuver. 4 attack is generic. It's the base middle of the road, though you can lower that down with the gun. Combined with the vertical stabilizer and the tank's ability, you can make the gun hit pretty hard for only a 3 attack die. So there's ways to build around it, but in doing so you're also increasing the cost of the tank again. Overall though, it's not a bad tank and it's a nice addition if you're playing British. As I said with the other ones, it's kind of annoying that they went to repeats of the starter tanks so early, only on Wave 2 here. But at the same time, this is one of those that you're probably going to want multiples of in your platoon. We don't have a lot of options right now either. And it's nice to be able to buy just the tank instead of an entire starter. That and you can buy 2 or 3 of these for the cost, maybe even 4 depending on where you're getting them, for the cost of the box set. So keep that in mind too. And it isn't a bad tank. It can be configured in a bunch of different ways depending on how you want to set it up. Combine the new upgrades here with the ones that were in the starter set, gives you a lot of different build options, and it's overall a nice rounded tank, I think. I wish the points cost were a little lower. That's the big downfall of this one to me, is the high points cost. It's not unwarranted because of the higher initiative and things like that, but you also have the extra hit point, which I keep forgetting to mention. 1 more hit point on this than all the other tanks in the Wave, so that also is added into that higher points cost. So it does have its pluses and minuses. I'm not normally a British player. I don't play a lot of British tanks. I have some Fireflies and stuff from the old game, but not a very... I think I have a Churchill too, but not a very large platoon of British tanks, so I'm not the expert on this one. I just know what I've seen, what I've played against. And there's nothing wrong with the Cromwells. They put up a good fight. They take a lot of abuse, to be honest. But I'm more of a German-Russian player myself. My boxes contain tons of German and Russian tanks, so I might be a little biased on that. But I still think this is good if you're into playing the British theme, and it's going to help you build out your platoons and fill them out. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for a look at the World of Tanks miniatures game Wave 2 Cromwell Expansion. And As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.